Hello, and welcome to another part of Monster Hunter Rise. Today we're going to be checking out all of the melee weapons. Melee, close range weapons in the training area. So yeah, enjoy. Man, that went really well, huh? I think before we go out on our first big hunts, on camera at least, we should go to the training ground and we should experiment with all the different weapons to try and, like, basically just talk about how they work and how combat properly works. I know you kind of got a bit of a taste for it in that last episode, but I'm thinking maybe we could actually look into what the specific weapons do this time around. So this is a cool looking training ground. It looks a lot more alive than the training ground in World. It has like a big moving dinosaur in the middle. You can practice using a weapon by attacking objects in the training area. Different weapons can be tested this way. Any ammo and coatings can be tried without using them up as well, so you have unlimited ammo essentially as well. The actions of some facility objects can be changed. You can adjust the settings by talking to Sekirei, the trainer, or change them from the training menu. Okay, cool. So this weapon is the Sword and Shield. This weapon is considered by many to be the perfect starter weapon. It has a shield for guarding, which is really nice. It's more of a last resort kind of guard, unless you've put like points into increasing the strength of the guard. But it's quite a mobile weapon. You can put it away and take it out like real fast, so it makes sort of going from offense to defense and evasion like very, very easy. You can also attack from behind your shield, like to do a rising slash. And then yeah, so you've got your standard triangle combo, which is that. So yeah, that seems like a fine combo. It's not the optimal combo, I don't believe, if I remember correctly. And then you've got your circle combo. So this is actually a perfect opportunity to talk about the two different damage types. So the triangle combo does primarily slashing damage. I think the third hit isn't slashing damage. Wait, third? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So, whereas the circle combo does stun damage or blunt damage. If you hit a monster in the head with blunt damage, the monster will eventually get stunned and it will get knocked over. So weapons like the hammer, which is a blunt weapon, will absolutely excel at knocking monsters out. Whereas cutting weapons are better for going for monster tails, which will usually be around the back, not on this one. But and you can chop tails off with cutting stuff. The cool thing about Sword and Shield is it can do both. You can stun and you can cut. Whereas something like the hammer is very good at stunning, but it can't cut off tails. Or it does have some moves that can cut off tails, but they're not very versatile. So what else we got? Got the lunging slice. I believe you can go straight into either of your combos off of the lunging slice. So I think this is a standing still circle combo. Yeah, my dog is like right in my face. So I believe this one does reasonable damage, this standing still combo. It's pretty cool. Oh, okay. That's quite cool. 1, 2, 3, and then a spin. Nice. So if I remember correctly... So yeah, the Sword and Shield can like go back into like a charge by holding back and circle, and then you release it and you can launch yourself into the air. In World, this is perfect for doing aerial attacks on monsters. Aerial attacks they were important in World. I don't know whether they still are in Rise, but you use aerial attacks to mount monsters. If you hit a monster enough with enough jumping attacks, you will eventually jump on their back and you can like knock them down basically and deal extra damage. It's very, very useful. So yeah, there's like tons of different ways you can do it. You can also do a blunt aerial attack. Oh, okay, I did a bad job there because I missed the monster. There's the blunt aerial attack. So the combo that I showed you a second ago, this one's all about timing. I'm not very good at it. If you get the timing right, you will glow red and you'll deal extra damage, so it's like a timed strike kind of thing. And I believe it's one of your most damaging combos with the sword and shield. Oh, also you can use potions, I believe, whilst... yeah. So if you guard and use the item button with the sword and shield, you can just use items with your weapon out, whereas most weapons you have to put them away to use an item. So yeah, oh actually, before we switch over, actually, I'll show you with a different weapon actually. We'll switch over. So that was sword and shield. So it is a good beginner weapon. Change equipment. What's the next one? Okay, let's do greatsword. So greatsword is one of the heaviest weapons in the game. It takes a while to bring out, and when you've got it out, you are very slow whilst moving. It also takes a little bit of time to go back in as well. Greatsword has a slashing attack, which you can do 3 of, like so. That third slice is one of the most powerful slices that you can do in the entire game, to be honest with you, not just with this weapon. The trick with the greatsword is you can charge up your attacks to different levels, up to 3 levels to deal extra damage, or at least your triangle attacks anyways. And you can do it with each level as well. And then if I go for the next one, and then you deal like way more damage by charging it up. The greatsword can also guard. This is really as a last resort with the greatsword. You don't really want to be guarding with it too often because it's not a very good guard, and it also decreases your weapon's sharpness by quite a lot. Your sharpness is underneath your stamina meter in the top corner, and if it goes into the red, your attacks will start to bounce off of the monster and deal less damage. So you want to make sure that you're not guarding unless you absolutely have to with this weapon. You're better off evading or just putting your weapon away so you can sprint away from the monster. Which brings me to the point I was going to bring up. There's 2 stances in Monster Hunter with every single weapon. There's sheathed and unsheathed. At the moment, the weapon is sheathed, i.e. on my back and not out. I can sprint whilst this is the case. I can also do like a emergency evade if I want to. Whereas if the weapon is out, I cannot sprint, and I cannot do that emergency evade. So with certain weapons especially, it can be really good to get into the habit of knowing when to put your weapon away and run to dodge, and when to keep your weapon out, basically, and be attacking. Right, onto the other moves now. With the... So you've got a spinning slice. Oh, hang on. Let's just do the circle combo, actually. So, circle combo is that. I honestly cannot remember what the main use for this is. It's been a long time since I've played greatsword, but I know that the shoulder tackle in the middle can stun monsters, and you also can't be knocked out of it, I don't think. I believe you can also... I'm sure there's... Oh, I remember now. Yeah, okay, I'll just go into that in a sec. So yeah, you've got circle combo and triangle combo. Triangle combo is your main damage dealer. I think circle combo is a little bit more versatile, good for hitting smaller monsters, like in large groups. Yeah. So some things to note, whilst you're charging, you can push circle to do that shoulder barge. As I say, that shoulder barge makes you somewhat, not invincible, but it stops you from getting knocked over, basically. And it will retain your charge level if you're at maximum as well. So I'm always going for a level 3 charge after I'm doing the shoulder barge. And then that'll come out and, yeah. So it's very, very useful. I can't actually remember what other things there are with the greatsword. You've got like an unsheathing attack as well, which is just that, which is like slightly faster. It's like a common thing you used to do in the older Monster Hunters would be like you would be running around looking for an opportunity to attack, and then you would just unsheath, and then you would get the heckins out of there again, and you would just rinse and repeat. And that's how some people played the game. And you can make builds that actually like function for that playstyle if you want to. I think over time the playstyle for Greatsword kind of evolved a little bit, and it's changed now so that the true charge slash is a lot more important. But yeah, that's the Greatsword. It's a heavy hitter. It's a bit of a powerhouse. I would say it's a game for it's a weapon for patient players. I would say. Next up, we'll go to the Lance. Now, just like the other weapons that we've been using so far, this weapon can also guard. This weapon is the weapon where I would say guarding is actually very good. Unlike the Sword and Shield and the Greatsword, this guard is great. It's really good. And if you build for it, you can basically become unkillable whilst you've got the shield up to most attacks. You can poke from behind the shield, and whilst you do this, you are pretty much 100% safe. It will use your stamina up. Oh, or not. My stamina doesn't seem to be going down. That's interesting. But yeah, the Lance, generally, it's like a sort of a safety poke weapon for the most part. Or at least when you're learning it, it will be. You can get quite creative with it later. So the Lance, like everything else, has two main combos. And the rule with the Lance is the rule of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then you have to get out. Because if you try and do 4, 1, 3, it just stops. And then you have to start again, and it's 3. So that was the triangle combo. That's sort of like your standard thrust. Pretty good against just general enemies. It's not the recommended thrust to use, but it's kind of situational. Then you've got circle, which is the upward thrust. Now, I usually prefer using this one. It's good for hitting bigger monsters like tails and heads and stuff like that. Very good for like cutting certain tails as well. If like there's a big sort of monster like Anjanath or something, like you can sort of like use the upward cut to hit that high tail. And then you've also got the sweep with triangle and circle. That is... Wait, did that say charge? Can you charge that in this one? Oh, you can. Interesting. Okay, okay. I didn't know that. But yeah, that wide sweep is good for dealing with like crowds of small monsters. And also just if you want to add some variety to your playstyle. And I don't know, now that it's chargeable, maybe it's actually got a different use in this game. You can also oh yeah, when your shield's up, you can go forwards and triangle to do a little rush. This will rush you forwards with your shield out. You will guard damage if attacks come at you whilst you're doing this. It does use up a bit of stamina, as you can see. And then you can follow this up with either a triangle, which is the shield's swing, which is blunt damage, or a circle, which is a stab, which is a multi-hitting thing. Both are fine. And then there's the thing that the Lance is known for, the charge. This will just keep hitting until you either get hit or you run out of stamina. You can spin around with a reverse attack. You can jump and do a jumping attack. You can turn around and continue sprinting. Oh yes, so whilst you're guarding, if you push circle, you go into this stance. It's like a counter-attack stance. After a while, it automatically launches a thrust up. This is a bit more powerful than your standard thrust, but if a monster attacks you whilst you're in the shield part of this, I can't remember if you deal extra damage or what, but you do counter-attack. So yeah, it's very good. And you can basically make an endless combo by using this move. So you can go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, or more. There we go. So yeah, you have that endless combo there if you want it. I think that's about it, really. Oh yeah, obviously your rolls are replaced with hops. these little hops are nowhere near as safe as the rolls that you would get otherwise. But obviously you make up for it by having this big shield. So yeah, and you can do some pretty wacky stuff when you put some like evade kind of gear on. Can make some like really like big hops. So yeah, it's kind of like a good tank weapon, basically, I would say. It's also good for mounting monsters, or it used to be. Don't know if it still is. Next up, the hammer. So we spoke a little bit about hammer already. Just so you know, I'm not a master of any of these, and it's been ages since I last played. So a lot of this stuff I'm sort of remembering as we go. The hammer, it's a relatively okay sheath and unsheath speed, so you can get in and out of combat fairly quickly. It also keeps its standard roll whilst you're using it, so you're relatively mobile. The thing with this is stun damage, basically. So every attack that you do will deal stun damage. So we go 1, 2, 3. That's the triangle combo. And then circle combo is just this. Again, that's like big damage if you manage to hit it on a monster. It can be quite difficult unless the monster is knocked out to hit that combo because it's quite long and slow. So the hammer can charge. If you just let it go, you will do a spin. Like that. Then you can also do an uppercut by moving and pushing triangle. Or you can go into an enhanced one by pushing circle whilst you're charging. So it's normal and then... Oh, that's new. Okay, I think we're in like a third level of it now. It's worth mentioning, your attacks change whether you're standing still or moving. So if I hold down R2 and push triangle now, I do that instead. Boom. Wow, they've... hammer's cool. What have they done to the hammer? Like, this hammer, like, transforms as well. That's really awesome. Does it have a triangle circle move? No, it doesn't. But yeah, yeah, this weapon is all about knocking the monster out, basically. So you always want to be aiming for the head if you can. You want to get good at sort of like timing your strikes perfectly to hit the monster on the head, basically at all times. Honestly, I do not remember everything about this. So wait, if I go 1, 2... So basically you want to try and like, basically just combine all of like the different buttons and moves, try out all the different combos. Like, it's quite a versatile weapon, surprisingly. The only thing it's bad at is cutting tails, which it just isn't really made for. I like the hammer. I have not played a lot with it though. That's why my explanation on it is maybe a little bit more brief. Switch axe. I did play a lot with the switch axe. Can't really remember any of it, but heyo. So switch axe. So you can. The cool thing about the switch axe is it has 2 modes. So you can move at normal speed in this mode. This is the axe mode. You have standard triangle attacks, and I believe this just goes on forever. Yep, just goes on forever. Cool. And then you've got circle. This will just keep going until I run out of stamina. And then you've got a rising slash, like that, which you can go into either of your combos, I believe, off of that. Yep. You can actually also interchange between any of these combos at any time, I believe. Oops, that was my bad. So my favourite move with the axe is this. Wait for it. That move. Freaking love that move. So that is just a circle combo into triangle, and it's like a big overhead swing. And And that is it for the axe part of this weapon, but as you see, it's called the switch axe. If you push R2, you can transform it into a sword mode. Sword mode activates a little bit more like a greatsword in terms of movement, but it's very different in terms of attacking. Every time you attack, your gauge goes down. When it reaches 0, you go back into axe form, and you have to hit with axe for a bit before you can go back into it. So that was the triangle combo there. Circle combo. That's the circle combo. And then you've got the ultimate move in this mode, which is this circle and triangle followed by triangle over and over again. And then it looks like it empowers the axe afterwards. I don't really remember much of this. Another cool move that you can do with the switch axe is the circle axe combo, and then you can push R2 to go into your sword form. It didn't work. But you can switch between the two modes, basically. So how do you do the... Not sure. There's a move that I used to really like that I can't now remember how to do. But yeah, this is a super fun weapon. Super fast-paced, lots of high damage. You can actually latch onto the monster, or you used to be able to, I don't know if you still can, and do your big finishing explosion, like actually attached to a part of a monster, so you can sort of do targeted damage. It was very risky, but very high damage. And yeah, that kind of sums up the switch axe. It doesn't have a guard or anything, so like it's quite it's all or nothing, as some of the weapons are. But yeah, insect glaive. I am not going to remember what I am doing at all with this one. It's been a while, so Lord knows I might have to actually just read the tutorial and go with that for this one. This glaive looks awesome, just worth saying. So this weapon is special because it has two parts to it. It has the blade part, and it has the insect, which is on my other arm. We'll start with just the glaive, so triangle combo. Yep. Does moving do different ones? You get a little like stab at the beginning if you're moving. And then you've got circle. It's the heavy attack. Is there a different one for when you're standing still? Yes. So, yep, there's that. I don't really remember now. So, cool things about the insect glaive. You can vault into the air off of the insect glaive, which enables for aerial combat. Like, very easy. And you can just sort of stay in the air as long as you hit your stuff. It's very Attack on Titan. But here's the other part of it. Now, I just need to remember how you do this. Okay, it looks like... So you've got your insect. There's your little insect. You push triangle to send it out. Depending on where it hits the monster, it gets a colour. You bring it back, and you get a buff, but depending on which colour you have. You get different colours by aiming at different parts of the monster. Is that... So that's white. And I'm assuming the head will be the last one, probably. Yeah. And the head is for red. If you get all three of the buffs, your moveset changes. Or at least it used to. Is that different? I think it is, right? Yeah, it is different. Yeah, there we go. So we're looking a little bit different here. Got like different aerial combos. I am doing a terrible freaking job here. But yeah, this is essentially... Wait, what does X do? Oh, it's just like an evade. Okay, cool. Eventually these buffs will wear off, and you won't have them anymore, and then you'll have to, like, send the insect out again to get more. like so. Your insect also has stamina. It can't stay out forever. So like you can do like that and then make it hit again and again and again. But it'll run out of stamina if you do that. So you have to call it back every once in a while to get its stamina back up. Honestly, I think that's about it for this weapon, but like it's very cool. I'm sure there's tons of stuff that I'm missing, and that's not even to mention like the new stuff with like the wire bug and stuff like that. I have no idea how that works. But yeah, Insect Glaive. If you want to be an aerial, flashy, like twirly stick person, then that's the weapon for you. We'll save the ranged weapons for last because they're a bit different. So we'll do the longsword next. Did we show a bit of this, I think, in the tutorial? I think we did. But we'll just go over it again. This weapon's quite simple, but at the same time, it's easy to use, hard to master. That's the way to talk about it. So you've got your basic triangle combo. This will just go on forever. And then you've got the circle, which is just slash uppercut. And apparently you can just do this forever. Interesting. And then you've got triangle and circle, which is your fade slash. The fade slash can be done in different directions. So you can like evade whilst you're slicing, which is really nice, or reposition slightly. Then you've got R2. R2 is your special spirit blade, basically. If you hit the full combo, you level the power of your blade up. It's got like a white glow around it now. So if I do it again... Oh, I've not got enough spirit stuff. Whoopsie. I'll just get my spirit gauge up. Now I can do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go again. Then it goes to yellow. It's even more powerful. And then once more. And then it goes to red. And that's the strongest, or when I last played it was the strongest that can be. You can see the red glow on the blade. You can also see it on the HUD. Now, I wonder if it can go higher now. No, it can't. But yeah. So, you can combo your R2 off of a Fade Slash to do a like little uppercut move, and that goes straight into your spirit combo. You still need meter to be able to do that, but yeah, you build up meter by using your regular attacks, basically. You can see it next to the sharpness meter. It's like the sword. What have we got? We've then got... Oh, yes, they added this. So, you sheathe your weapon. And if you... I think it's if you strike at the exact moment that a monster strikes you, you get like a cool counter slash. Nice slash. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, right. So these sheath moves are actually really cool. So if you hit it with the triangle one, this one will continuously keep giving me more meter in my like special gauge, so I can just do these attacks a lot easier. And I don't have to worry about my meter. If I do it from scratch now. There you go, you'll see it's going up on its own now. It's turned blue and it's increasing on its own. So, yeah, there's also the circle one, which is like this, and then... Oh, is it circle? Oh, no, it's R2, sorry, not circle. So that's the one where if you time it to when a monster attacks you, you do bonus damage. It's a very cool move, and if you want to look like a samurai, then that is the one for you. I'm sure there's more. I cannot remember any of it, but it's all about managing that spirit gauge next to the sharpness meter, basically. Make sure you get up to your red power level and just go crazy, basically. It's a good weapon. It's easy to get into. I would say maybe even easier than the sword and shield. That's probably why they started me with it in the game. Next up, dual blades. This was one of my favourite weapons back in the day. Dual blades again, no shield, just like the last few. It's a very fast weapon. It's got a multi-hit combo. Each hit does 2 hits. As such, when you are hitting with this weapon, you have to sort of commit. Like, once you've hit triangle, like, you are locked in for those 2 strikes, and you can't really evade until they're done. But it is still very fast. So, yeah, that was triangle combo. There's triangle combo. Circle combo. So the circle combo is good for closing a bit of distance, because you move forwards a little bit. Like so. Okay, well, the cool thing about this weapon is you have demon mode. All the while this is active, my stamina will just drain. You hold the swords a little bit differently, you run a bit differently, and your combos change. So this is triangle. So that's the triangle combo, and then circle combo. That's the circle combo. Then you've got a triangle and circle combo. Very big damage, but you are rooted to the spot when you do it. When you are in demon mode, your stamina will continuously drain, basically. You get a different dash as well. This dash is actually good, despite how it looks. It does actually get you out of danger, like, real quick. But this game is all about just managing your this weapon is all about just managing your demon mode gauge. If you deal enough damage whilst you're in demon mode, you get this red glow around you, and that means that some of the demon mode stats will stay with you, and some of the moves will stay with you as well. So yeah, I still have the circle combo, for example. God, I love these weapons. I might have to stick with them. But yes, that's Dual Blades. Very fast-paced. If you want to look like a cool ninja, that is a good weapon choice for you. They're high damage, they're fast dealing damage, they're good at cutting tails as well, good slash damage. Gun Lance. Gun Lance is one of the more complicated, well, I say complicated, it's one of the more diverse weapons, I would say. It has a lot of different ways you can play it. It is a lance, obviously, but as you can see, it is a little bit more complicated looking. It's still got a guard. I think it's pretty much just as good as the regular Lance's guard, maybe a little bit worse. And then you've got your triangle combo. 3 hits and you're done, just like the Lance. You've still got your hops, just like the Lance. You can do a rising slash with this one. And I believe if you do the rising slash and then go triangle, yep, you do slices instead. Ending with that finishing move there. Here's the other component of the weapon. It's also got a gun in it, hence the name. If you do 3 hits, you will like do that stake strike. You need to reload bullets in. You also need to reload your stake as well. So if I do that, get the stake in there, and then I haven't reloaded my weapon, and I try and do it again, the strike comes out, but the stake doesn't go in. So you need to make sure you're reloading, basically. You only have a certain number of shots. The number of shots will change depending on which gun lance you're using. There's also different types of bullets that you can get in the gun lance that can make it feel a bit more like a shotgun or a little bit more long-ranged. You can hold down and charge your shots for extra damage. Now, I believe, is it... Yeah, cool. You can do a quick reload with R2 and circle. So if you want to, like, go fast, you can do that. That will take your sharpness down, though, if you do that. It's worth mentioning that wherever your thrust takes you is wherever your shells will come out. So if I do this, I'm then shooting into the sky. Same with putting the stake in as well. It goes into the head instead of the body. This is very useful information to know. The pièce de la résistance of the gun lance is this. That is a lot of damage. It's very, very powerful. There is a ton of stuff you can do with the gun lance, and I have probably missed a load of it off because I just don't remember it, to be completely honest with you. But 1, 2, yeah. So that big attack, the charged one, it has a cooldown. You can tell when it's on cooldown by the fact that your gun lance is like flashing up at the top. I'm not too sure if maybe the meter underneath my sharpness and that blue thing. I think that might be the cooldown timer. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think that ever used to be in World. But yeah, gun lance, very fun weapon. I would highly recommend it if you're like just wanting to try something a bit different. Hunting horn. Hunting horn is another really cool weapon. This is the weapon for the support players. Well, I say it's a weapon for the support players. You can actually play it as a DPS if you want to. But this is, think of it like a hammer, but with added jazz. Every attack you do plays a note. And those notes get stocked next to where your sharpness meter is. So you see I've got 3 triangles. And of those 3 triangles, 2 of them have lit up. That means that of the notes that I've just played by attacking, I can play those notes with R2. And that has just made me faster. And I believe you can do it again. Is that how it works in this one? Not too sure. It also tells you at the top there what the different notes are. So each attack is a different colour. So triangle is blue, circle is red, and circle and triangle is green. And there's something I've never seen before here, so I'm just going to do that. That's new. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what the hell that was all about. I love it. But what you need to remember, basically, is everything except for the self-improvement melody, I believe, will affect your allies as well, as long as they're within a certain range. So if I've noticed that my ally's taken damage, I could do this, then this, and then I play, and I've just done a health recovery. I think. Wait. Have I? Wait. Yeah? Has that done it? Wait, I need to take some damage. How do I take damage? Well, I don't know. I think they've changed the hunting horn somewhat since I last played. But yeah, you've got your triangle combos, you've got your circle combos. Just showing you all the different moves that you can do with this thing. And yeah, that's the hunting horn. Different horns have different songs that you can play. So they'll have like different optimal combos depending on what you're using. They can give you a variety of effects, from health recovery, attack, defense, stamina recovery, immunity to certain status effects, slow HP recovery even was a thing, I think, in a previous Monster Hunter. And I'm sure that there is a bunch of stuff that I'm forgetting, but yeah, it's a great weapon. It's a really great weapon. It requires a little bit more thought, I would say, than a lot of the other weapons. Charge Blade. This is where we get really confused and nothing works properly, because Lord knows I don't remember how to do this well. So this is another weapon with 2 modes. The first mode, it acts kind of like a slightly heavier sword and shield. You can guard, just like with sword and shield. Oh, okay, didn't mean to do that. I transformed. Hang on, let's change back. Right. Okay. So you've got a triangle combo. 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, so it's just a 3-hit combo. It's pretty alright. Circle is like that. So that circle slice, it has like a slide afterwards, so you can like sort of reposition afterwards. But the important thing about this is you can see next to my sharpness meter again, I've got a bunch of different icons. One's for the sword, one's for the shield, and then you've got some empty bottle-looking things. The bottle-looking things are your vials, so you get those up by dealing damage with the sword. So when they turn red, that means they're ready to be stored. And you store the power from those by pushing R2 and circle. And those vials are now stored. Oh God, I can't remember how it works. I can't remember how you do this now. And you can apply the power from these vials into your sword and shield, respectively, I think, to make them stronger. Lord knows, I do not remember how you friggin' do that. Oh, wait, maybe I do. Hang on. So it's like... Okay, I think I need to... Hang on. I'm going to run out of time. Oh, no. So if I go... like that? I cannot remember how you friggin' do this. There's... Okay, I might have to look it up, but you can basically supercharge your sword or you can supercharge your shield. You've also got an axe form, which is slower, more damage. Just generally, like... Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got a circle combo, which uses up the power in the vials to do a big slice. This weapon is so complicated when you can't remember what the buttons do. But you can essentially power up the sword and shield to use the sword and shield as a really powerful weapon, or you can power up the axe mode, which turns it into almost like a chainsaw kind of almost style. It will like deal like tons of damage like continuously as the attacks come out. It's very strange, and I can't remember how you do it. It's kind of tragic. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not going to be using this weapon. It's not my personal favourite playstyle. There's just too much to think about. But for those who want a little bit of like something extra to their gameplay, and once you get into the rhythm of using it, it becomes a lot easier. It's a very fun weapon. It deals huge amounts of damage, like crazy amounts of damage. It can be quite unsafe in a lot of situations, just leaving you open to attack and stuff like that. But it equally swings the other way. It can also be very safe. It's a kind of an all-or-nothing weapon that kind of goes either way. It's one that I'm not very confident on, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be confident giving you any more info on it, to be completely honest, because I have no idea what I'm on about. Okay, and that was all of the melee weapons. Once again, I'm recording this separately from the actual training video. But, yeah, that was all the melee weapons. Next time we're going to do all of the ranged weapons. It's going to be a much shorter video. But, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Farewell.